Welcome to this explainer. Today we are tackling a problem that pretty much everyone who works with data is going to face at some point, and that is, how do we stop manually sorting through endless data and actually start automating it? By the end of this explainer, you're going to know exactly how to take a messy, chaotic data set and transform it into a clean, automated workflow using KNIME. So if you have ever felt completely bogged down by those repetitive, mind-numbing spreadsheet tasks, well, you are in exactly the right place. Let's get into it. Let's be real here. We have all been there. You get a spreadsheet, and at first glance, it looks brilliantly organized. But the real headache begins the second you actually need to make decisions based on that data. Checking thousands of rows by hand, it's literally painful. It's incredibly slow, it's highly inconsistent, and it is just so easy to mess up. I mean, think about it. A human being is probably going to classify a row completely differently on a tired, burned-out Friday afternoon compared to a fresh Monday morning with a cup of coffee. Manual sorting just doesn't scale. And frankly, your time is way too valuable to be spent doing that. Okay, so let's dive into our roadmap for today. First, we'll talk about the spreadsheet trap. Then, we'll meet KNIME conditional logic. Third, we'll look at the key KNIME nodes. Fourth, we'll actually build a logic workflow together. And finally, we'll wrap up with some best practices and pitfalls. All right, kicking things off with section 1, the spreadsheet trap. Now, as your data grows, doing things manually isn't just an annoyance anymore. It actually becomes a massive operational risk. Just imagine a business owner trying to make big strategic decisions, but their canceled orders are completely mixed in with their completed ones, just because someone missed a few rows. Or picture a student trying to draw conclusions from survey data where incomplete responses were accidentally treated as totally valid. It's a mess. But when you switch to KNIME logic, you replace all that error-prone manual work with fast, repeatable automation. A KNIME rule applies the exact same logic every single time. It doesn't get distracted, and it certainly never gets tired. Moving right along to section 2, meet KNIME conditional logic. This is where we shift from manual grunts to a really smart, rule-based system. To really get this, we first need to define what we mean by row operations. In simple terms, every single row in your dataset represents one specific item. That could be a customer, a single transaction, a student request, whatever. A row operation is just any action that we apply to those individual records. It's how we change, filter, keep, remove, or redirect those specific cases depending on what we're trying to achieve. And, if row operations are the physical hands doing the work, conditional logic is absolutely the brain behind the operation. This just means we use rules to decide exactly what should happen to a row when certain conditions are either true or false. So, for example, if a deadline is less than 2 days away, boom, mark that request as urgent. The workflow basically looks at the value sitting in a row, compares it against the condition you set, and automatically spits out an output. It's deciding the fate of each row based purely on the data it holds. All right, section 3, the key KNIME nodes. Let's take a look at the actual visual building blocks we'll be using. You can really think of these nodes as smart traffic cops for your dataset. First up, we've got the rule engine. You use this one when you want to create a brand new value or label based on your conditions. Like maybe you want to add a column that stamps a row as urgent or standard. Notice it doesn't remove the rows, it just labels them. Next is the row filter. This one simply keeps or drops rows based on a really basic selection. Now, if you need to get a bit more complex, you upgrade to the rule-based row filter, which filters using detailed rules that you actually write out. And finally, the rule-based row splitter. This one is a real game changer. It brilliantly illustrates how you can send rows that match your rule down one path of your workflow and rows that don't match down a totally different path. Okay, on to section 4, building a logic workflow. This is our practical classroom phase where we put the theory into action. Let's look at a quick case study. Imagine an education support organization called Assignment on Click. Now, picture their dataset as just this chaotic, mixed bag of student assignment requests. They urgently need to figure out how to classify these requests by urgency, subject, word count, and service type so their team actually knows what to prioritize. Without automation, they are literally drowning in rows. But we're going to fix that for them right now. Here are the 5 chronological steps to build a bulletproof workflow. Step 1, you've got to prepare and load your data cleanly. Step 2, and please don't skip this, define your logic in plain English before you even think about touching any nodes. Figure out exactly what decision you're trying to make. Step 3 is bringing in our rule engine to assign those new labels. Step 4 is splitting or filtering those rows so they go to the right teams. And step 5 is reviewing and documenting what you just did. Remember, a truly great workflow always starts with clean data and plain English. So let's see how step 3 actually plays out for our friends at Assignment on Click. We can combine multiple columns to trigger a specific label using that rule engine. For example, if a row has a deadline of 1 day or less and a word count over 2,500, it gets the critical review label. If the deadline is 2 days or less, it's just urgent. But what if it's a massive document over 4,000 words? Well, regardless of the deadline, we flag that as an extended task. By stacking these conditions, we can perfectly capture all the messy, real-world complexity of these requests. Now, you absolutely need to notice the fallback rule sitting at the very bottom. True implies standard. Why is this absolutely crucial? Well, think about it. If a row comes in and it doesn't match any of your earlier conditions, let's say it's due in 10 days and it's only 500 words long, KNIME still needs to know what to do with it. Without this final fallback rule to catch all those leftover rows, you're going to end up with blank or missing values in your output. And trust me, that creates a massive headache for any analysis you try to do later. Always, always include a fallback. All right, almost at the finish line. Section 5, Best Practices and Pitfalls. Let's safeguard our workflows. If you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. Rule order matters absolutely. KNIME reads your rules from the top of the list straight down to the bottom. So if you put a really broad rule at the top, like let's say anything with a deadline under 5 days is normal, and then right beneath it you say anything under 1 day is critical, well, a 1-day deadline is going to hit that broad top rule first, it'll get incorrectly labeled as normal, and your critical rule will literally never even trigger. You've got to always put your most specific, most serious conditions right at the very top. Okay, here is a rapid-fire list of best practices that are going to save you so much time. First up, check your data types. A number has to be read as a number, not as text, or all your math rules are going to fail. Second, test your boundary cases. If your rule says less than 2 days, manually test a row that is exactly 2 days to make sure it routes the way you want. Third, standardize your spelling and casing. To a computer, the word urgent in all capital letters is completely different from urgent in lowercase. Fourth, document your logic directly inside the workflow with simple notes so your colleagues actually know what's going on. And finally, keep your output tidy. Just remove the columns you don't need anymore. Taking literally just a few minutes to do these checks prevents major headaches down the line. And that brings us to the end of our explainer. You know, row operations and conditional logic might seem like relatively basic tools at first glance, but they have a massive, transformative effect on both your productivity and your data quality. You now have the knowledge to shift from painfully checking rows by hand to building fast, automated, repeatable logic. So I want to leave you with this question. Which of your repetitive manual tasks are you going to automate with KNIME today? It is time to open up the software, start building those rules, and finally take your time back. Thanks so much for joining.